which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. Philip, name, a given name, derived from the Greek phi iota lambda iota pi pi omicron sigma, Philippos, lit horse loving, or fond of horses. Philip, Philip, Phil, Philippe, Felipe, Philippus, etc. Jack Daniels is a brand of Tennessee whiskey and the top-selling American whiskey in the world. It is produced in Lynchburg, Tennessee, by the Jack Daniel Distillery, which has been owned by the Brown-Forman Corporation since 1956. Despite being the location of a major operational distillery, Jack Daniel's home county of Moore is a dry county, so the product is not available for purchase at stores or restaurants within the county. Horatio is a male given name derived from the Latin name nomen Horatius from the Roman gens clan Horatia. Jacob Christopher Tito, or T's, English, / Tito Open Oshwartis / born January 23, 1975, is an American mixed martial artist fighting for Baladerma. In the world, he is known for his stint with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, where he is a former light heavyweight champion, having held the title from April 14, 2000 to September 26, 2003. Along with fighters like Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell, he was one of the sport's early stars. Ortiz ultimately became the biggest pay-per-view draw of 2006 for his fights with Liddell, Forrest Griffin, and Ken Shamrock. The word lady is a civil term of respect for a woman, specifically the female equivalent to gentleman or lord, and in many contexts a term for any adult woman. Once confined to usage when specifically addressing women of high social class, race, community, and status. Over the last 300 years, the term may now be used to refer to any respectable adult woman. Lazy Town, Icelandic. Ladabar is an Icelandic educational musical comedy program with the cast and crew from Iceland, the United Kingdom, and the United States. It was created by Magnus Shoving, a gymnastics champion and CEO of Lazy Town Entertainment, who also has a lead role as Sportacus in the show. Originally performed in English, the show has been dubbed into more than 30 languages, including Icelandic, and aired in over 180 countries. Learning is the act of acquiring new, or modifying and reinforcing existing, knowledge, behaviors, skills, values, or preferences, and may involve synthesizing different types of information. Citation needed. The ability to learn is possessed by humans, animals, plants, and some machines. Progress over time tends to follow a learning curve. Learning does not happen all at once, but it builds upon and is shaped by previous knowledge. To that end, learning may be viewed as a process, rather than a collection of factual and procedural knowledge. Learning produces changes in the organism, and the changes produced are relatively permanent. Cherry pie is a pie baked with a cherry filling. Traditionally, cherry pie is made with tart rather than sweet cherries. Morello cherries are one of the most common kinds of cherry used, but other varieties such as the black cherry may also be used. Virginity is the state of a person who has never engaged in sexual intercourse. There are cultural and religious traditions that place special value and significance on this state, predominantly towards unmarried females, associated with notions of personal purity, honor and worth. Cheetos, formerly called Cheetos until 1998, is a brand of cheese-flavored, puffed cornmeal snacks made by Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of PepsiCo. Frito's creator Charles Elmer Doolin invented Cheetos in 1948 and began national distribution in the U.S. The initial success of Cheetos was a contributing factor to the merger between the Frito Company and Hector-Lay and Company in 1961 to form Frito-Lay. In 1965, Frito-Lay became a subsidiary of the Pepsi-Cola Company, forming PepsiCo, the current owner of the Cheetos brand. Freak of the Week is an antagonist that only appears on one episode of a work of fiction. A villain of the week is commonly seen in American and Japanese genre-based television series. As many shows of this type are episodes weekly at a rate of 10 to 20 new episodes per year, there is often a new antagonist in the plot of each week's episode. The main characters usually confront and vanquish these characters, often leaving them never to be seen again, as in Charmed, Smallville and Scooby-Doo. Some series alternate between using such antagonists and furthering the series' ongoing plotlines, as in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, Fringe and The X-Files, where fandom is often divided over preference for one type of episode versus the other, while others use these one-time foes as pawns of the recurring adversaries, as in Kamen Rider, Super Sentai and their American equivalent, Power Rangers. On other occasions, these villains return reformed, becoming invaluable allies or gaining a larger role in the story. The American action drama Burn Notice focuses on short-lived antagonists, but the final portion of every episode is committed to developing a larger story arc. The British sci-fi program Torchwood used this format in its first two series, before switching to a continuous story format. Homegirls, a black feminist anthology, is a collection of black lesbian and black feminist writing, edited by Barbara Smith. The anthology was first published in 1983 by Kitchen Table, Women of Color Press, and was reissued by Rutgers University Press in 2000. An epileptic seizure, colloquially a fit, is a brief episode of signs or symptoms due to abnormal excessive or synchronous neuronal activity in the brain. The outward effect can vary from uncontrolled jerking movement, tonic-clonic seizure, to as subtle as a momentary loss of awareness, absent seizure. Diseases of the brain characterized by an enduring predisposition to generate epileptic seizures are collectively called epilepsy. A breather is a nonlinear wave in which energy concentrates in a localized and oscillatory fashion. This contradicts with the expectations derived from the corresponding linear system for infinitesimal amplitudes, which tends towards an even distribution of initially localized energy. The lungs are the primary organs of respiration in humans and many other animals, including a few fish and some snails. In mammals and most other vertebrates, two lungs are located near the backbone on either side of the heart. Their function in the respiratory system is to extract oxygen from the atmosphere and transfer it into the bloodstream, and to release carbon dioxide from the bloodstream into the atmosphere, in a process of gas exchange. Respiration is driven by different muscular systems in different species. Mammals, reptiles and birds use their musculoskeletal systems to support and foster breathing. In early tetrapods, air was driven into the lungs by the pharyngeal muscles via buccal pumping, a mechanism still seen in amphibians. In humans, the primary muscle that drives breathing is the diaphragm. The lungs also provide airflow that makes vocal sounds, including human speech, possible. Grape is a fruiting berry of the deciduous woody vines of the botanical genus Vitis. Grapes can be eaten fresh as table grapes, or they can be used for making wine, jam, juice, jelly, grapeseed extract, raisins, vinegar, and grapeseed oil. Grapes are a non-climacteric type of fruit, generally occurring in clusters. A son is a male offspring, a boy or man in relation to his parent. The female counterpart is the daughter. Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Meeks TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011. which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011.
It's the nutshack.
Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011.
It's the nutshack.
Which is a Filipino-American adult animated sitcom created by Ramon Lopez and co-created by Jesse Hernandez. The series ran on Mix TV for 2 seasons from 2007 to 2011.